their opponents, the best team in the APAC region and arguably the world. But let's see if that's true. It's Tensai, Shitampo, and Moya. They are Crazy Raccoon.
Match down on the stream, a second one soon to begin. Welcome to the desk, Trav. How was that one from the sidelines? Quite the banger to start off the day.
I genuinely don't think we could have asked for a better game to start the World Finals of 2024. So much exciting action.
Well, we've got to move on to our next matchup, of course, Zeta versus CR. And for Zeta, these are the world champions. Do they need an introduction? Honestly, Bageru, Meow, and Novi going to try to make it 2 times consecutively. Certainly as well, got to mention, this is a grudge match here as well from last year's World Finals. And Meow as well, of course, a very accomplished player in this squad. It's kind of interesting to see the favourite brawler being Frank. Don't really necessarily pin that specific brawler to him, but nonetheless, let's see if it makes an appearance. It is kind of a meta which could call for it, but certainly a great amount of pressure on this very team to keep that crown on their heads.
Apparently world champions don't need food. He doesn't even know what food he likes. Question mark on the food. He doesn't even know himself, never mind us here on the desk. But yeah, what an absolutely incredible team Zeta Division have been all year long and in previous years as well. But let's talk a little bit about their opponents. Crazy Raccoon. And we're about to find out what happens when you pin world champions against world champions, Tensai, Shitampo, and Moya. And yet again, they don't need much introduction themselves.
This is the #1 seed coming out of the APAC region. Of course, Tensai being the only player in this World Finals to be a 2-time world champion. Amazing stuff. Of course, no doubt about his favorite brawler being Max. I mean, he is really linked specifically to Max and has been over the years. So, again, I'm looking forward to seeing whether that brawler might make an appearance for him. But this is going to be, honestly, such a tough matchup. This is the group of death, in my opinion. And going back to the 2023 World Finals, it was Zeta Division that knocked out Crazy Raccoon in that semi-final stage to a 3-2 scoreline, just the narrowest of narrow margins, Traven. A pinnacle moment in Brawl Esports history, let alone just in that World Finals.
You say group of death. And honestly, that is exactly what it is. All 5 of us are going to go for Crazy Raccoon. And I was pretty comfortable. I was pretty happy with my decision. I'm sure the rest of us were as well. But the public are going to go for Zeta Division.
Hey, do you know what? I don't mind it. Who are we to tell the public not to vote for the world champions? I mean, hey, it's going to be very much a 50-50 matchup for me. I just feel like Crazy Raccoon have been a team which have been developing a bit over the years towards draft, which in my opinion was kind of like their more weaker area. Technically, I think that they are technically the best team in the world. I think their thumbs just move diff. I think that many would say the same, but I think for me, the weakest area has been their draft, and that's an area where Zeta Division, they've been cooking. I was chatting last night to Latox, and there's some serious math, some serious algorithms going on behind the scenes. I'm not going to divulge too much into their secret strats, but it was very fascinating to hear how they are approaching the draft, and they think they cracked it.
And this is the thing as well, Zeta Division, they've been so back and forward for the past 2 years. They'll win a monthly final, or they'll go out in the first round, and that's the story for the Polish boys. The thing is, they show up on the world stage no matter what, and I think that's the exact same thing about Crazy Raccoon. Coming in as #1 from APAC, they started strong, they ended the year strong, and now they're here to show the exact same at World Finals.
And you'll remember the amount of experience as well on the side of Crazy Raccoon. For Tensai's 5th World Finals, for Shitampo's 4, for Moya it's 3rd. I mean, actually kind of surprising when you look back at Moya's career. He's always just come that little bit short, being, back in 2022 on, Zeta Division 1, not the team that won the whole thing, becoming 2nd place. It's got to feel a little bit rough, but every year making some moves towards greatness, and this could be his year.
Yeah, genuinely. I mean, the thing is, with predictions especially, the fact that we can predict a team over the world champions of last year is just crazy. And that just goes to show how much of an incredible matchup this is. The magnitude that we're starting the Brawl Stars World Finals 2024 off with. A double match point game for the first, and then we're pitting world champions against world champions for the second.
And this is a grudge match that's gone back through the test of time as well, back to 2022. Back then it was Geru and Naui on the Chazmak Gaming EU roster that faced Moya and Shtampo in that World Finals, losing to a 1-3 scoreline. So some of the crossovers still remain to this day, and certainly, I mean, there are going to be so many eyes to see how APAC as a region is faring against EMEA, especially as we watch today the closeness between North America and EMEA. I want to see whether APAC are kind of back on top, as it's been a bit of a while really since that time has been. Zeta Division, of course, last year lifting that trophy and really turning some heads as a team which are very much kind of keeping themselves to themselves and just playing things out through their thumbs and making their experience count in the games. They're very similar teams in that regard. They're not going to be too much in each other's faces.
Yeah, both teams exude so much confidence, but they do it in different ways. We've seen Crazy Raccoon 2-0 down in World Finals, laughing, having a bit of fun, full faith in themselves. Whereas Zeta Division are the complete opposite. Yes, they still have that confidence, but they're ice cold, showing no emotions, and they know they've got a leg in every single game.
But hey, we did see a little bit this year, right, on social media where Zeta came out of their shell. The kind of silence that they've had throughout the years sort of disappeared this year. We saw some back and forth, shall we say, on there, and that was an interesting dynamic that we hadn't really seen from that team. So maybe we're seeing a little bit more of a shift towards them being more outgoing this World Finals. Who knows?
I would absolutely love to see that. A bit of Zeta Division coming out of their shell and just running across the stage, having a bit of a shout across, trying to intimidate the opponents, rather than just doing what they have over the past few years and be the norm. Bells Rock in Knockout is going to be our first match. Let's see how close it was, and it wasn't even close, guys. Top seed out of APAC versus Zeta Division, and it's 67% going the way of the Europeans.
And Zeta Division are the #2 seed coming out of EMEA, which historically has always been a region that has just been a little bit of a cut above the rest, and that's just not me saying it. That's a lot of people thinking it. As we go in now, then let's check out the bands. The Kenji on both sides, the Grey and the Angelo, the Tick and the Mo. Definitely the two main offenders there for me being the Kenji and the Mo, so great to see that they are already out of the mix. Looking back at the interviews as well in the BSEN magazine, when asking Tensai as to how he thought about those two brawlers on a scale of 1 to 10, he put down Mo and Kenji being a 10 as being the worst offenders, so no doubt in my mind that Crazy Raccoon were going to ban those two at least. And another first pick, Sprout. It's a very risky time in the draft to do so. I said in the previous set as well. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too sure about the Sprout being a first pick. Yes, later on down the line, we've seen it so many times as a third pick when the other team lacks the aggression, lacks the ability to throw over the walls. I think it's absolutely incredible as a late pick. As a first pick, very, very uncommon. But then again, we've seen Mo and Kenji slip through the draft so many times already, so honestly, I'm not even sure what I'm expecting through the drafts in this competition. We're going to see the Gene as the first pick coming in from Crazy Raccoon, though. I do like that. It's been a bit of a while, I feel, since we've seen it on this map specifically, but RT has been in and around the meta as of late. Once he kind of got that rework to the gadget, the ability to kind of snap in between your legs and the long-range mode has become a lot more fluid.
And certainly a great pairing as well with that Gene. Their leg form is going to just dissipate your opposition immediately so I do quite like how Crazy Raccoon are approaching that one. Zeta Division, a chance to respond to things. They've got the control, they haven't really got the range, and that's kind of where I'm seeing things at the moment. I wouldn't mind a Bell, but Gus is probably better, in my opinion, as well, to have the opportunity to maybe share that shield with a tankier brawler. But, it's not going to do the greatest amount. The RT going to be playing more defensive if that were the case. But hey, they're going to think about it. And I think Pearl's not a bad shout. Has got that range to be able to keep things at bay. And also, as we know, that overcooked ability can be devastatingly quick at taking down your opposition.
Yeah, the Gus works for me. The Pearl, it's a countermeasure, just in case they bring out some tanks that Gus and Sprout aren't going to be able to deal with themselves. They bring in the Pearl, it's got the range. Once you kind of build up that heat and get the extra damage down, it can deal with tanks. You can kind of pepper down opponents at range, especially with that gadget. You're going to be able to get some kills that nobody was really expect either. Pair that with the shield, get her close, and that's going to be a lot of damage raining down. But we'll see what Crazy Raccoon do take for their last pick, and it's going to be Brock. And I mean, that surprises me quite a bit.
It's definitely the kind of brawler which is not too flashy, let's be honest, and I've always said it's a bit more of a kind of safe pair of hands, but the wall break I think is going to be quite available to then Crazy Raccoon to really open up the map, allow that Sprout to have less maneuvering ability to connect those walls around, and then that's the kind of play. They want to kind of open things up as much as possible, as that Sprout can just get so much control over the map if they're not careful. I don't mind it. Who are you kind of siding with from comp?
I think I'd say Zeta Division. It's kind of something we've questioned all year long, is Crazy Raccoon's composition, or drafting skills, I should say. So we'll see if they're actually going to be able to make it up on the world stage and do a bit of a better job. But Zeta, with the early positioning control.
Well, Moya needs to try to get a bit more splash early on. He needs that magic hand, something towards the end of the rounds to be able to really connect with his teammates on. So far, Zeta in a pretty decent spot despite that wall break and that bottom left-hand side, giving more space for CR to maneuver. It's this bottom right now that makes me cautious as Meow's maneuvering with Geru and just putting CR into a bit of a corner, and this is getting risky now.
Yeah, you got to be cautious with this gene pool as well, but Meow's managed to get himself a wall, and that's going to be a big help in this late game when we start to see it close down and the walls have been broken in mid by Tensai. He does take a few shots to the face on the left-hand side though, but thanks to those magic buffs, he gets the heals up, blocks Shitampo out, and that means he's going to have to go into the gas. We see Moya get taken down, Tensai's going to follow, and Shitampo will be there shortly after. 3-0 for Zeta Division, and what a start for them.
Really clean, really methodical, despite some great taps from Shitampo there as well, and the Hacks Gadget combo just was not enough. Great start for Zeta Division now, but Moya has got the magic hand, and Shitampo has got the leg form also. Tensai with the Rocket Rain, and now it's starting to be Crazy Raccoon that are getting a bit more of that mid control, forcing back Zeta Division. Hypercharge now available for Meow too, but there's the hand from Moya, and a swift takedown, making it a 3 versus 2 now.
It's the exact answer we needed from Crazy Raccoon, and they do just that. Shitampo has the legs as well. If it gets to late game, he's going to be a big, big help in these closing seconds. Pearl over the left-hand side going to be doing more of the same on the opposition side, though. Still got a shield, but it's got a question of whether or not they're going to use it. Big hits coming in from Tensai, managed to make a connection with both of them, and it looks like they're looking for the gas as their answer, but Shitampo will deny that, and now he will follow in shortly after, as we see Crazy Raccoon even the score in round 2.
This round then for the first game, a great deal of utility there for Zeta Division. Hypercharge still there with Meow, and supers for both Geru there and Naui, so let's see how they choose to use them. So Hypercharge for Tensai also. Shitampo just trying to work his way around, and a good healthy wall there from Meow, forcing back forcing back CR rather into that bottom left-hand side as it was in that first round. A devastating spot, they won't forget that at all. Continuing to push their way forwards just a little bit. CR now know they've got to push back, and they're doing so, and getting a bit more leg in that mid.
Yeah, they're starting to gain some real ground back up, but in that instance, Meow's going to throw down a wall and try get control of this right-hand side once more. Here comes the hypercharge from Tensai, and everybody springs into action with the side of Crazy Raccoon, raining down on Meow, but surviving narrowly on 2-7-8. Now Zeta start to rejoin him in the mid. The pull's there, but it's missed. The shield was pressed as a bit of a countermeasure, but the pull was missed regardless. Naui, over the right-hand side, is marked up, has to be a bit cautious about how he plays this out, but now the hypercharge comes from Moya, extra speed, and there's the Vengeful Spirits as well, round the right-hand side, now he gets a dirty hit with the super, Moya goes down, Tensai all alone, can he get it done? Gets one, but the gas doesn't hit in time, and Zeta Division take game 1.
There was nowhere to go but up, and straight into a Sprout shot. A very close affair. CR just coming just that little bit short there. Going into this next one, gonna have to just rethink slightly. So close, but Zeta kept the ice in their veins. Claimed the first game now. Need to see a little bit more of an adaptation, a bit more confidence being displayed here from Crazy Raccoon, as they're getting pushed around just a little bit too much for me. Could have gone either way, though, let's be honest.
I mean, Meow just playing it so cautiously towards the end there. Did end up staying in the gas, but in the end, outlasted his opponent with a nice hit. Another one of those rocket fuel goes down. Actually tries to use it to get a kill rather than breaking down some of these Sprout walls. That's not the route I would have gone, but now chooses to pivot and go for that wall break on the bottom side where Meow is lingering.
Ooh. Good Rocket Rain connection there from Tensai, and that is exactly the bit of a breath of relief that they can now grasp. Tampa this low, but the pickup is there from Moya. Lovely stuff. A 3 versus 1 is not something that CR are going to take lightly. They'll be able to just keep things together, get the job done, and get that round on the board.
Seemed maybe a bit of overconfidence in there from Zeta Division as well. Went so aggressive and got picked off one by one by the side of Crazy Raccoon. So might need to kind of revert to the default settings of just playing this one a bit more passively and allowing the Sprout to do the work in the late game and the mid game, and kind of allowing them to just have this patience at the start.
Well, Moya is certainly going to want to connect with Meow. In the meanwhile, it's the Tampa that gets the finding of Geru, making it a 3 versus 2, exactly what Crazy Raccoon wants to have going into this one. That first round in the bag. Tensai could even use the hypercharge now and just secure things. I would be the way that I would go, as now that top right as well. Meow so incredibly low as a result of the Hacks Gadget. Tensai dancing, but the support now coming through from Shitampo, from Moya, and that's going to be a game going the way of Crazy Raccoon.
just what we wanted. A close match is what we were promised. And Crazy Raccoon not dropping this first set without a fight. Zeta Division need to kind of rethink their tactics now, as I feel a slight bit of over-aggression definitely came in there, slight bit of overconfidence, and an early break from Tensei of this right-hand side, choosing not to break this kind of mid-portion of the map at the start.
Makes a lot of sense. They were kind of struggling as Meow started to work his way around to the right then, and kind of that was the wall that was being a bit problematic as that lane side would start to take hold. Novi there just knows that if you can just push forwards, get that pressure on, then those wall breaks are less likely to happen. Now Meow's already got an early wall here as well. We're going to place it down. That middle area going to be there as well. Not the best of coverage because Garu's there in the mid waiting to land some of those gust shots, but it will trickle down eventually. And again, this is the position that Zeta like to place Crazy Raccoon in that back left corner. They need to start to spread out and make some space for themselves, keep their HP in check with the result of that star power from the Gene. Top position now, Shitampo so low.
Easy shots from Meow. He left kind of a pathway through there and chose to punish Shitampo, who wanted to walk through it. Moya solo at this top side. Gero trying to pinch in now, but no shots from the Pearl finding it. Meow versus Tensei up close, and the Sprout wins that one. Gero versus Shitampo down the bottom. Now trying to get some shots onto Moya, gets one, and the Gadget as well. 2v1 as Zeta managed to take the first round of the deciding game.
That gust shield, instrumental. The decision just to keep pushing their way forwards was really the right one there for Zeta at just the right time. He knew he was a couple of shots away from earning it, and it just came at a perfect time as Moya now with his magic hand needs to find a connection. Well, this set will be all over. Crazy Raccoon have got to survive this one just that little bit longer on. If he can just kind of pair things with Shitampo and get that immediate takedown, it doesn't really matter who he tries to pull now. The Sprout comes down, will provide a little bit of coverage, but not really the best of them for Meow, but the map's so open now, he's not really got much choice.
Still got Gadgets though. There's the ball, Meow gets caught! The shield's wasted from Gero as well, tries to catch Meow as he's been getting dragged in by Moya, but is unsuccessful in that. 2v1 to make this the decisive round. CR need to get this one in the books and ready to move on to the next. Down goes Naui. Gus gonna retreat into the gas, and it's the deciding round to see who takes this first set.
One round for the set, and there's a hypercharge there for Tensei, one there for Meow on the other side of Zeta 2. The Sprout wall's gonna be a big one to start things off and keep the pressure on the side of Zeta. Shitampo not really using much of the leg form. Look at these two hypercharges now from Crazy Raccoon for both Tensei and Moya, staring down the barrel of Zeta, getting a much better position as a result of it. This hypercharge in the Gene though, we've seen it not pay off, especially with a Pearl on the other end of the field. So that placement has got to be perfect, but already getting a good foothold in this mid on the side of Crazy Raccoon.
I mean, Zeta Division is so scared regardless of having 3 supers, because a Gene pull with hypercharge and a Brock with hypercharge is going to be a lot more devastating when you're trying to push up the map. Gero rotating around the right hand side, still got a shield in hand. We have the hypercharge from the Sprout, but what's that in comparison to the hypercharge from the Gene? Tampo finding some shots. Down goes this wall on the right hand side. Moya not really in range of trying to get this pull. He's going to stay and focus on the Pearl.
Well, the gas will not be far away now. Time is ticking, a wall goes down, but there's a double hypercharge to the side of Crazy Raccoon! A trade on both sides now! A 2 versus 2! Shitampo finding Meow there, Gero is low as well, but the shot, that second one from Tensei did find it! Everyone is so low! Who is going to be staying left standing? It's a rocket! Double kill for Tensei! And Crazy Raccoon as a result will claim the first set!
Tensei gets 2 and throws his hands up in the air in celebration. Zeta Division look on. The world champions of 2023 are behind in the first game of 2024.
But what a back and forth affair. I mean, really and truly, could have gone either way. It was a slow start there for Crazy Raccoon, as Zeta really did keep the pressure on the earliest moments. But they started to adapt, they started to learn along the way as to how to beat their opposition. And then there's wall breaks from Tensei. That Brock pick, again, not the flashiest, but certainly one that was just the right call to make in these final moments there as well. Chaotic, to say the least, but nonetheless, CR at the beginning, definitely more than nervous. That was just clutch there from Meow. I mean, a few pixels away from the gas. I think we could be going to a third and final set again on this one, honestly, because Zeta won't be taking that one lying down.
Yeah, I was honestly so surprised to see those kind of closing interactions as frequently as we did. Zeta really wouldn't have been wanting to go into those late seconds with the Sprout. And how many times Meow got pulled as well? He gets pulled in, Gero wastes his super. There's so many mistakes, I feel, from Zeta Division. As I mentioned a few times now, a lot of overconfidence. Look at that shot from Tensai, that's just gorgeous. How perfect that has got to be to hit both of them there, or the game could have gone very differently.
Yeah, 8 takedowns there for Tensai, and I think absolutely deservedly so. DPS across the board, though, let's be honest, pretty evenly matched. Certainly a bit lower on the side of Novi, but I mean, you'd expect that playing the Pearl. Your job is primarily to kind of stay there and get cooking and try to time your strike. But nonetheless, I mean, what an instrumental gene pool as well at just the right time for Crazy Raccoon. Because if that had been a miss, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that that was a Zeta Division set. And I mean, what a time to get it right on the world stage when it matters most.
Yeah, I will say there were so many instances where the gene made the big difference, but so many kills out of Tensai as well, being that man who's going to assist the damage when the pull comes through. And we saw it, towards the end there, I started to kind of question if it was going to be a win for them because the Pearl got the super in when pulled in. We're heading on to center stage in Brawl Ball. We've seen it once today already, and it was an explosive game.
It really was. I mean, it's such a great map, honestly. It's just perfect for tanks, perfect for coverage. And then the decision as to whether you want to leave that bush and keep that unpredictability. Crazy Raccoon banning the max. That's got to hurt them. It really has. A little bit of a sting to the heart there for Tensai, who we know would love to get his hands on it. Kenji is actually open here. The Mo ban, the Clancy ban, and the max for Crazy Raccoon. And the first pick of Surge is a fantastic one, honestly, for Zeta. I do love to see it. The Luban, the Nita, and the Otis from Zeta. We are seeing a little bit of an Otis rise up. Well, not one that I was particularly expecting today coming into the World Finals, but I have noticed that Otis is definitely good in certain brawlers, so I don't mind it necessarily. And there is the Kenji. I mean, it kind of had to be, honestly. I mean, again, Crazy Raccoon saying that they really value those two brawlers as being the most problematic in this current meta makes a lot of sense.
I mean, regardless of how many kind of counters you throw at Kenji, he's going to be able to do something in the game regardless. And especially with Mo off the table, which they themselves accounted for, they're the ones who banned that out, is definitely going to be very hard to face. With no Mo, as many tank counters as you want to bring, Kenji's going to be able to do something. I like the Surge pick, though. It's so versatile, very strong. They're going to take the Gale away from Zeta Division as well to prevent that extra countermeasure.
I wish I cut you off. I was literally going to say it. It had to be. It really did, because if they didn't do that, they were leaving themselves so open for a big problem. I mean, certainly the Surge is already a good brawler into Kenji anyway, so, I mean, I think Zeta has still got a pretty decent opportunity here, but you've got to pair the biggest 10 counter with your Kenji, so good drafting from Crazy Raccoon. They're willing to take the risk into the Surge as well, which is definitely displaying some confidence for me here. And Zeta Division, if they want to choose a tank, they're going to choose a tank, and it's going to be a Frank. Again, as we saw as well going for the players of Zeta, definitely a brawler which they're quite happy to pick up, and it's a bold one. It really is. I mean, I don't necessarily like its chances against the Gale, though.
I mean, it's my boy Meow's favorite brawler.
Exactly.
So, who knows how well he's going to... Yeah, you're kind of like, oh, okay, they've taken out tank counter. We'll just go a different one. But no, they actually go, okay, we're going to take your tank into a tank counter. It kind of baffles me a little bit, but I'm sure Zeta Division know what they're doing. They're going to get the stew along the way as well, and I do like that brawler. A very versatile, mobile brawler is going to be a big help for Zeta Division against these two. Kind of, Kenji's got a lot of mobility, but Stu can still get away.
I feel like this could be a very quick set in favor of Zeta. If they get this right, this Frank is either going to absolutely pop off and just destroy the defense and the bush along with it, or it's going to be a bit of a sort of waste of space, and I say that now the Primo coming in as well. It's going to provide an even tougher time for the Frank to really get the value that he's trying to bring to the table. I mean, the Stu can dance around the Primo. I mean, this is going to be a very aggressive set nonetheless, and that is what I'm excited for, Trav.
It's what I signed up for.
Exactly.
In the 2024 World Finals of Brawl Stars. Really exciting matchup here. Surge going to be doing a lot against these tanks, getting so many levels, but it's just a question of whether or not Crazy Raccoon are going to be able to force the ball in the net early enough for the Surge to not make the big difference if it gets to overtime. I'm liking my chances with Zeta Division here, but off the start, Chitampo trying to move around this left-hand side. Good shots early on from both Gero and Naui. But Mao's going very aggressive, should be able to pick up Tensai here, thrown over his shoulder though, survives it out just a little bit longer, and a missed pass from Naui, but he is going to surely pick up this ball and get the goal. He misses it! Caught by Moya, and I can't help but feel that's a fumble.
A tense scenario there. One that I feel Zeta should have been able to handle. Meanwhile, Crazy Raccoon now pushing their way back forwards, and Chitampo there giving a great amount of scrutiny to Naui. Almost found a triple kill, let's be honest. Moya trying to find the gap between the legs and thread the needle. It's not enough. It's the defense for Zeta.
Good defense from Zeta, but CR had a chance, couldn't quite execute it though. And a hypercharge, ready to roll now for Naui, but who's in his face? It's Tensai on the Primo, gets one, hypercharge there, he's ready for the pass forward, goes in on Meow, gets the kill, and the Kenji's there too. CR take goal one of game one of Brawl Ball.
Very back and forth, but now the Frank hypercharge is there for Novi. He's going to be going straight towards the ball. If he gets this off and pulls it off, nice catch and pop as well prior to it. In the meanwhile, though, Tampa going on the aggressive, gets taken care of finally by Meow, and it's just Moya. But to be fair, of the three brawlers to have on the side of Crazy Raccoon still standing, you want your gal for defense.
Yeah, great pushback there from Moya on the left-hand side. Throws him straight into the hands of Tensai, who got a bit of supercharge along the way from it as well. Going to be able to meet Naui in open combat. Get wasted, super two. Kenji on the right-hand side. Surely a little 1-2 and a goal, but Meow. Oh no!
No!
They saved it, but they still force it in. Crazy Raccoon going to match point.
They're starting to make this look easy. And it shouldn't be looking this easy against the reigning world champions. Zeta are on the ropes. They've got to find an answer. The Frank is strong. I believe that they can still survive this set. But they've got to start making these moments count because Crazy Raccoon have just got all the momentum in their favor.
Kenji going in, not going to find a lot from it as well, and the gadget was used along the way. Stu trying to make some mobility of the right-hand side work now as well. Paired up with the Frank, who's going to be in range of Tensai once more, thrown over his shoulder. Pretty much lands him directly onto Shitampo, but luckily able to survive for the side of Zeta Division. Using a super now, Moya in a tough position. We're going to see the tornado come down, but not going to be able to get a lot from it. Kenji actually slicing and dicing, but Meow will land straight on him and get the tree. Tensai gets a super along the way here. Might want to go for the goal. Chooses to turn back and think better.
Gero's just going to tickle him. Let's be honest, you've got to have Novi there in full force. Jumping in now then is Tensai cycling beautifully and staying alive, most importantly, as now Moya clears up the scraps. It's just Gero trying to buy some time, but in the meanwhile, he's got to get the ball clear, but he sends it straight back.
Yeah, Tensai wants the super here. He knows he can score if he gets it. Moya's going to miss the super. What a bait from Gero. Little bait and switch in there, but Shitampo dashing side to side, evading a few shots from Naui. Nice stuff from CR. 3v2 situation. Down goes another. Just the surge remaining, and it's not enough as Tensai slides it in. 1 minute 20 away from a win.
Zeta need a goal right now. Hypercharge there for Novi, and it should be enough time for BTS to get off. Tensai leaps to the sky and jumps over the top of it. This forward's going to be forced forwards. A great switch from Moya, just 40 HP. Zeta have got to get this ball in the goal, and they do!
Just Zeta hold on. Super available from Tensai, but 3 on the side of Zeta Division. They're looking for a quick goal to follow up from that one. Meow get that cleared off the line by Gero. Kenji going in, trying to slice and dice, gets one, but now he's still here to defend. Can't get a pass off. Might be a breakaway for Zeta now. They want a chance. Shot's not there, and Tensai will be the one to defend.
So tense, as now Crazy Raccoon join this for the defense. Novi's got to heal up now. So much really pivots on this Frank pick, being able to make something happen here, but Tensai is the thorn in that very idea. Moya low, Shitampo on the right-hand side low also has got to be a pitch-perfect defense for Zeta here. 3 consecutive smashes, and Tensai's got to think twice.
Tensai still lives though, he's got all of them there. The little knockback available from Moya, will use the hypercharge in there as well. Puts it into the hands of Tensai, who will corner the ball. Buy CR a bit of time for some respawns, but Meow wants the ball. He's trying to find it, jump,
he gets it!
Jump. The knockback's there, Kenji's lighting, but the ball comes in. And Zeta Division live to fight another day.
The timing with that surge was absolutely perfect. It was a jump then, or it was going to be a defense. Zeta finally now off the mark and starting to look like they could bring things forward. It was looking bleak, so bleak, realistically there. As you can see, the Crazy Raccoon was starting to run away with things. It's going to be a tough one. I feel like they are struggling against this Kenji. No doubt about it. They've proved to themselves, most importantly, that they do stand a chance in this set.
Gero gets tossed over his shoulder, a little pass forward to Kenji, but he gets the ball.
Oh,
accidental
no!
pass! An accidental pass into the hands of Gero. That was either the best accident I've ever seen or the best play I've ever seen.
Unreal stuff. Sometimes all you need in the world stage is just a little bit of luck. Meow going in, but Moya has the last say. It's Gero, and now he's pushing themselves forwards now. Moya might be far away from a super here, so they've got to be really cautious to not feed into that very idea here. As now Tensai and Shitampo join the mix. CR should be able to defend this one.
Yeah, well, a jump from Tensai will secure it, and he does cycle it out as well. Now pinned into this kind of bottom right-hand side corner. Jump goes in, but a jump from Serge will counteract that, and the Stu will be able to run away. Surviving is Meow now, but it's passed over to the left-hand side where Moya awaits. No super in hand, but that will be one. Now the super comes in. Can the pass go through?
What
and he finishes the super in time and denies Ciara goal.
An instrumental save, but now with Tensai coming in with super and the hypercharge, this can be forced through here. Meow comes in and actually makes the final save. It's down to Navi. Can he survive? Nice twister there from Moya just to ensure it. As Crazy Raccoon will equalize for the goal.
One goal for the win, or one goal for a set number 3, and that will be decided. Hypercharge gets through.
My
Massive from Naui, but still nothing for Zeta, and they look to try find another opportunity.
What incredible value, but it's not enough still. As Crazy Raccoon are holding their own and really making Zeta work for this one. It's just Moya. He can gadget on the ball, and he will do just that. Navi will get the stun, but he can't get the ball on the side of Zeta.
Yeah, Naui looking for a super now, can break open all these walls with a single play, but yet to be able to get it to Kenji.
Here it is.
Moya, there's the super. Can they save it? Sliced by Shitampo, who saves CR once again. Now it's them on the attack. Can they find the winner?
This is unbelievable, but it is still Crazy Raccoon. They're only one goal away from taking this series. A perfectly timed jump into the hands of Garu, who should be able to now dash force to get the ball. It's just Tensai, he's got gadget now as well, and that's got to be on the minds of Zeta.
Tensai goes for ball, but actually plays it straight into their hands once more. Instead of it, he gets the pass, and the goal's there from Zeta Division. Provided to them on a plate by CR. They even the score. It's 1-1.
We are going all the way. What a pleasure to watch these two teams dance. Deservedly so, Zeta, a little bit of luck sprinkled in, but sometimes you need that to get back in the game, and it was not an easy comp to face into, not by a long shot. I was so worried for Navi, honestly, because that Frank is devastating into a Kenji. You're really struggling to land your shots. To see the plays he was able to establish in that, with that in mind, it was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, what a jump from me out there on the defensive portion of the map, and now he did manage to force the ball in the end. Zeta Division doing a great job of holding on. When we expected CR to kind of run away with it, they looked so confident. They were
there was the fumble, yeah. Crazy, just landing straight at the feet of Garu, and Crazy Raccoon couldn't really recover from it. Definitely weren't expecting it to be the case, to be down so quickly. That was a beautiful pass too, really was. I mean, oh my goodness, we've got to talk about Meow in that matchup. 18 kills, 521 DPS is crazy. It makes Tampo's 14 kills and 440 look actually miserable by comparison. Crazy stuff there from Zeta.
I mean, what a matchup that was, and we expected no less. We saw the comments and we're like, okay, they're doing a little something. They're going aggressive. We're going to see some great games, and that is exactly what we saw. Sweating. I'm sweating after that one. I need to wipe my head.
They're sweating on the stage. We're sweating on the desk. But, I mean, what a spectacle. It really was. I mean, we knew coming in when we saw the draft in that game, it was going to be spectacular. And both teams there just proving that to be true. A wonderful draft. We've got to give our blessings towards it, and a lot of credit to it, to move in to what will be the decider here. It's going to be Shooting Star as the map, Bounty, of course, as the mode, and a very important draft now. A huge decision in what I said from the beginning is the group of death, in my opinion. Will Crazy Raccoon get their revenge after they were taken down last year by this very team who went the distance to claim the crown and be declared the Brawl Stars World Champions of 2023. The bands are in, the Max, the Sprout, and the Kenji for Crazy Raccoon, the Sprout, the Tick, and the Angelo for Zeta Division.
Yeah, well, we saw the Kenji come in last time. It was kind of, it was okay. It freed up some room for the rest of his team, but didn't do the most. RT will be brought in by Moya as the first pick. It's one of the more versatile ones if they choose to bring something aggressive, and I kind of don't expect it now Kenji's out of the way. It can do both. It's best of both worlds.
Certainly going to have that ability to now hover over the mid as well, which I really do like for RT. Makes a lot of sense when you look and consider the design of that brawler. Zeta Division, certainly a lot of ranged options here. Byron hasn't really made a play yet today in the draft. I'm really kind of hoping it does come through here for Zeta. Gus is their first idea. Definitely very much now a first pick worthy brawler in the meta as well. So really great stuff for Zeta, starting hand already in motion. but certainly they've got to consider the amount of range, control potential as well. If they want to go for a potential thrower along the way. Bell, Piper, that kind of thing is very much my flavor, but Byron, you know, gives us a bit of flexibility to combine with a tankier push or a speedier push along the way as well, so wouldn't mind seeing it.
Yeah, well, I do like the Gus as a first pick. I will say Nani adds that kind of sharpshooter that you wanted to see, and also kind of does well against the rest of the sharpshooters with that extended range, kind of sprays out at the end and makes it really, really tough to dodge if you're someone like Moya or someone like a Piper, as well as that RT, obviously. So we'll see what Crazy Raccoon do have to answer that, because Gus and Nani are two incredible picks from Zeta Division. We know the draft is something that Crazy Raccoon have been struggling with for the past few years, all the way throughout these monthly finals and through last year. They get carried forwards by how good they are, how mechanically skilled they are at this game. But the draft does need to be a big, big part of it, and Gene is what they think is the answer.
It's a nice pick for Zeta Division. Having that Nani really kind of deters Crazy Raccoon away from the Piper idea. It's such a hard counter into it. So they were thinking it. They've now got to reconsider themselves. With the Gene then coming through, just allowing more healing off the back of things and being able to make that power play with the Magic Hand, of course, can be a huge turning point in the back and forth. Third and final pick now coming in for Crazy Raccoon to round off this comp. Going to be going with the Grey. A brawler which, again, first time seeing today, I really quite like it. The ability to really go in at that moment of weakness on your opposition's side with the TP, get your goods, get back out again as well if you're playing it, and the technique of Crazy Raccoon really does lend itself perfectly to a brawler of that very nature. I mean, we could be in for a real treat if we see some Grey plays coming through. For Zeta Division, they might be opting potentially for a Pearl. We've seen that kind of combination with the Gus come in. Ooh. Penny. That is a bit of a controversial one. Certainly one that's coming forward a little bit more in the pro scene, but we've not been a massive fan of it here on the desk.
Yeah, I mean, with that extended range, it does allow itself to be played on a map like Shooting Star. Yeah, albeit not probably the best brawler for this map. But then again, I think Grey over the other side is another one of those. You know, it's kind of, you know, it's okay on some maps, but when you need range, you don't go Grey. And when you're faced with a Nani and a Gus who have that range, I feel like that puts you a bit of a disadvantage. I think Zeta Division might have what it takes here.
Interesting stuff. Well, either way, this is where it's going to be decided. A missed walking cane there by Tensai to start things off. Big taps though from Shitampo on the right-hand side onto Novi, and there is a gadget there, the Hacks gadget, bringing Novi down so low there, forcing him back and continued aggression. Shitampo's not done yet, but Novi still stays standing. Another Hacks gadget, 108 HP. They just can't kill him.
Yeah, relying on Moya to come in and get a shot in, but it never arrived. Very difficult for him there, and only one return to sender was used in that process. Meow. Going to be marked up, not going to be able to find the second shot. Now that comes down. I'm not sure Shitampo can really reach that through the map, but a lot of damage rolling on in. Meow so low, and that mortar shot is going to be missed. Paul going to be used on the mortar there. Don't really want to overextend for it, and they do remain in a bit of a deficit of stars. The blue star is deciding so far. The Zeta are in their spawn and not got the best position.
Yeah, I don't mind that pull. I think it opens up the map a great deal. The Peep does find a connection down in the bottom left. Shitampo as well, just continuing that aggression. Salty Barrel not going to be doing too much there, but it might be something of a bit of a defensive maneuver on that top right later on down the lines. Gero having that shield, such a great thing to have on the defense. It's just the blue star so far. Keep coming around, he's going to cycle, fires a connection onto Moya, but Moya stays standing. Zeta Division holding well under the scrutiny, it must be said.
Zeta Division managing to spring back out, and there's the Kooky Popper that secures the kill. Extends the lead to 3, as Crazy Raccoon kind of lock up a really big hill here in Bounty. 30 seconds on the clock. Hypercharge ready to roll. Going to be used there as well. We've got the shield available from Gus too. Shitampo going to be the target. He pivots and goes for Tensai. Extends it to 5.
This is fantastic here for Zeta, who've not missed a step, but there is still time. 15 seconds now for a counter response for Crazy Raccoon. They've got to find 6 stars or get a combination with the blue. Gary pulled in, pops the shield. They're still staying and standing. A TP there from Tensai, but a pull from Moya. They find the blue. Can they get 3 stars on the right-hand side? Novi is so low, they can't secure it. And Zeta Division stays standing enough to make it a match point.
Millimeters away from the win. Crazy Raccoon are now faced with a match point. Zeta Division held strong with the blue star for so much of that game, and in the closing seconds almost flipped right in front of their faces. But now only 2 minutes if they get this blue star between Zeta Division and the win.
The adaptation there from Crazy Raccoon to being hampered to that left-hand side instead of the right. Walking Cane does connect from Tensai, but Meow stays standing. And Zeta do secure that blue star, and that gives them that position of power that we saw in the previous game. Already a peep coming in, working his way forwards, but not going to find anything but a wall there for Zeta. A bit of a miss now, and Crazy Raccoon know it. They're going to strike now while the iron's hot, and Shitampo fires Nervy.
Yeah, Walking Cane missed over the left-hand side there, but a pull is available for Moya. Hopefully they don't feed him too much, but Meow might be able to get a mortar in these little kind of close-range matchups that he does have a bit of an advantage with the salty barrel in. Shitampo getting so many good hits, and Moya with a pull can really extend this lead if he hits it.
See now, Meow's in a bit of a tight spot on his left-hand side. Peep coming in yet again, but on that top right as well. We see the low, but Moya missed the pull. That's a terrible time for it. He could have secured that kill if he'd been able to land it. Meanwhile, Crazy Raccoon still have the lead, but definitely a miss onto Geru. Moya should have done better.
Yeah, I felt like he had quite a lot of free roam ability there. Nobody was really pinching him. A couple more tiles forward and the pull would have just hit with a quick click of the auto-aim. But some good shots coming in. Might be able to cycle this one out quite quickly. Geru falls low and has to retreat. Now the mortar is available. And it's an aggressive one, but Walking Cane straight through the wall. And that's a great play from CR.
Definitely what you want instead of the magic hand if you've got it to your advantage. But now Tensai has no more gadgets. Hypercharge coming in now. This is a huge peep. Potential connection finds Moya there as Zeta continues to keep the pressure on now. Closing in. They are looking for their star. Tensai has the TP, but where will he go? That's the question. Shield handed over from Geru there to Mao. There, Tensai's low and falls as well. Zeta have got the lead now on the retreat. The pull there from Moya here is good. That's the tempo there for support. There is still time. Will Zeta find a pickup? Hypercharge for CR. The tempo is low but surviving on. The peep comes in. Crazy Raccoon survive.
Double match point up next as CR narrowly survive in the bottom left-hand corner. Beaten down, but don't fall. Standing strong, heading on into this last game. Who will win it, and who will take this first game in the group?
Unreal, honestly. I mean, for the second match on the A stream to go the distance. I love it. A miss Walking Cane though from Tensai. I'm not loving that as much. Already Zeta getting themselves stuck into this mid, getting that blue star again for the third time running. And now running back to their spawn, marked up there. There's Novi there from that RT connection. We didn't see Moya gain that magic hand, connected most importantly. No more time for misses now. This is the final game of this series, and whoever wins it will take this in their set, get that early advantage in Group C.
Both Tensai and Meow really want their supers, but aren't willing to overextend and take a risk to get them. Shitampo finding some great shots, wonderful pinch over, but Tensai can't hit his shots. And the same for Meow. The ability on this left-hand side to juke is just so good. The Walking Cane's there. The salty barrel wasn't required to tank as he survives and lives to fight another day regardless.
So much pressure. 1 minute remaining on the clock. Another peep coming in there for Novi. Shitampo's low as well. He's going to be working his way around, gathering more damage. Tensai's knocked back into the arms there of Meow and just about survives. Good, solid connection, but Tensai kept his cool and did not TP away. And Novi there so low that shield is keeping him alive from that Gus. And a perfect TP there, but Tensai couldn't get the follow-up. But one takedown is all that CR need to gain the lead.
Tensai being the cleanup crew makes this a 1-star win. For Crazy Raccoon,
huge!
What a pull! And I think the Gus shield was missed in there as well. Huge waste and a big star loss for Zeta Division.
25 seconds for Zeta to claim back a ton of stars. They've got the blue, but they need 3 at least, and that'll be Shitampo, Moya, or just Tensai all around. Peep coming in, finds it. Still 6 stars, and the blue with Crazy Raccoon. And Zeta down 1 man. Can't really go for this push.
But enough time to do it. 10 seconds there. Vengeful Spirits come out. Return to sender sends it straight back to Moya. But 5 seconds. Will it be done? The pull's going to be missed. Meow surely going to fall. They do nothing but extend the lead. And Crazy Raccoon beat the world champions.
Back and forth all the way, but Crazy Raccoon get their revenge. Who can forget last year when Zeta Division knocked them out of the 2023 World Finals to a 3-2 scoreline. Now, Crazy Raccoon put the world champions on the back foot in the earliest possible moment in Group C.
It's just really not a position you want to be in, taking those early losses in the groups, and I'm well aware that this is the group of death. People are going to be taking losses, and pretty much every single game is going to be considered an upset. But when the world champions lose in their opening game, it's a big story, and what a pull that was as well. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff from Crazy Raccoon all the way through. The pinching ability that this team has, the mechanics is just unmatched.
I mean, here at Tensai got all three, I would have jumped off the set. Honestly, unbelievable. Just a couple of pixels away, but that was Moya's redemption arc really for me. Definitely had a bit of trouble connecting some of those pools, but did land the ones that mattered the most. Tampo as well, as we said, coming out of the gate was just absolutely tapping on that RT pick, despite a huge healthy amount of DPS there for Novi. Just wasn't enough to carry then Zeta through, and Novi he just carried with those peeps. He really did cycle so many to the table, it just wasn't enough. And for Crazy Raccoon, what an amazing result for them to start off their day.
I mean, I think we've got to touch on that, Penny. I don't think it can be ignored. Real tough stuff for Zeta Division. Not the best of drafts in the closing set of their first game. Tensai getting the MVP, and I think that is fair to say that is well deserved.
You can see how much it means to him as well. Just huge smiles. I mean, going back to 2022, though, I mean, they were smiling in the potential defeat that laid upon them as well. So realistically, there for Crazy Raccoon, they're always smiling. But nonetheless, I mean, a massively important victory for them and a challenging one, to say the very least, against the world champions of Zeta Division. I mean, what a way to start things off. We've had so much incredible action. So take a little recap now of those groups and see where the scorelines have landed. It's been already unreal, Trav.